And what kind of player am I? Am I an offensive man or a defensive man? That's right, I'm neither. I play my opponent. If he likes to attack, I force him to defend himself. If he's a cautious man, I draw him into dangerous waters. See, you get so frustrated playing defensive positions, you make stupid moves you never make if you were thinking. When you come here, boy, check that shit at the door,
I'm at the top of my game, cut the check. Somebody better king me, I'm the best. Let's play a game of checkers. Better yet, the game don't love nobody. Let's play chess.
I keep forgetting when I'm in love anymore. I keep forgetting.
Good evening. Good evening. Blue Collar Intellectual here. My name is Julian Aciard. It's good to be here tonight. Hope you all don't mind. I'm a regular guy, and I'm never going to pretend that I'm not. So I did not trim up my beard or my mustache before doing this tonight. I had a special announcement, mostly in the wake of the election, with everything that's gone on, with the obvious inconsistencies. I'm not going to get deep into that in any fashion tonight, because that's not what this is about. This is about the pivot into the next move that we're going to make right now. Okay, I am announcing my candidacy and my run starting in 2021 in January. This week, if all goes according to plan, I will be dropping my campaign website. I've already set up my campaign Twitter at ACIARD, ACCIARD 2022 on Twitter. Julian Aciard on Facebook. I will have my campaign page up very soon. It'll be ACR 2022 as well. I'm running in New Hampshire's 1st Congressional District. I will be running against Chris Pappas. It's time to get normal, everyday people in the office and change how we have these discussions. Over the past 4 years, I watch consistent discussions that weren't really discussions. Everything was framed from the point of a combative argument. Our outreach to new communities and minority groups was successful, specifically with the Hispanic group, and it was unsuccessful or not as successful as it could have been, specifically with African Americans, or I say Black Americans. I'm Black and I'm American. The two are not mutually exclusive. They are also not directly oppositional to each other, and I'm 100% conservative. God-fearing Christian man, served my time in the Marine Corps, OIF veteran. Myself, I enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps. I was medically retired for issues dealing with my lungs, chronic lung deterioration, respiratory arrhythmia, things of that nature. Currently, I call myself the blue collar intellectual because I read incessantly, because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to law and politics and ethics and psychology and economics, history. I'm steeped in all of it, and I have been my entire life, because my parents were very in-depth into making sure I had the education required. I don't believe that we have been electing the right people to run for office. And I'll say this for two reasons. This election, I saw two different types of people running for office. I saw people who ran as individuals, and they ran off their individual merit and their individual campaign plans, and they were largely successful, and many of them received endorsements from President Trump, who I am a Trump supporter. I voted for him twice. That doesn't mean I love everything about the man. It means I appreciate what he was doing and what he did for the party going forward. With that being said, we have an opportunity to do something absolutely spectacular with all of these young conservatives hopping into the ranks in the GOP, we have a chance to really turn it around and make it the party that it should be, and the big tent party that should naturally be on the conservative side of the aisle. Because one of the tenets of being conservative is we don't care where you came from, we don't care what your background is, we don't care what you look like. It's about the principles and the ideas and the solutions. And my campaign will be sticking to principles, ideas, and solutions. And party is going to be the last of that, because I believe if we are providing solutions, ideas, and principles to people, what party we happen to be from will be largely irrelevant. And it doesn't mean that I will not be running as a Republican, because that's exactly what I will be doing. However, I plan on running a wholly different campaign. I'll be talking to people face to face. I'll be engaging with my community, and I will be going to DC to represent my state in the House of Representatives, to be a fighter for everything that we hold dear and true. I'm a 100% believer in the Second Amendment. I am pro-life. My solution for the pro-life movement is to get rid of all of the driving factors that contribute to people choosing abortion. If we get rid of the economic and educational factors by creating economic opportunity and educational opportunities for the average everyday people, and I do mean opportunity, I do not mean guarantees. You cannot guarantee somebody's success. However, you can open the door for them to walk through and seize that success for themselves. And as history has shown it, the people who we currently consider to be the most disadvantaged populace in the United States and worldwide, we've had a lot of talks about racism over this past year. And I do believe that if you open the door for anybody, they will walk through it and seize their own success with their own two hands. All we have to do is create the opportunity. And that means rolling back 100 years of bad policy, and where in many communities nationwide, including some right here, you have 100 years, you have 60, 70 to 100 years plus of bad policy, of which these people are not able to escape from. They constantly have a boot on their neck, and I aim to rip that boot off their neck to allow them to stand up on their own two legs and do what they desire to do, and create that generational wealth moving forward so that they can pass it down to their kids, and so on and so forth, creating a endless cycle of prosperity. And when every group in this country can succeed, we all succeed. And the fact is, I think we've failed because for too long we let the wrong people drive the discussion on how to help these people. When they come to us and they explain that they have an issue, our immediate response should not be, no, you don't. It should be, okay, explain your issue. And rather than talk about why Democrats are bad, we need to explain why we are better. Rather than explain why their solutions haven't worked, we need to explain why ours will. So the first thing we do, listen to what they have to say. After they're done speaking and they're done explaining what they believe to be the problem in their communities, we give them our solutions. We give them our ideas, our principles. And then if they like those solutions, those ideas, and those principles, then we shake their hand and we ask them for their vote. And if they plan on voting for us and the answer is yes, then we ask them to join the party. But the party affiliation comes last. There are many people that voted for Donald Trump that were registered Democrats and libertarians and independents alike. The party affiliation is not necessarily endemic of a person's actual beliefs. As we've seen with many politicians who have an R in front of their name and who are not necessarily conservative, and we've seen Democrats take a turn towards conservatism in against the opposition of their own party. So again, we're going to go principles, ideas, solutions over party and over politics. The disdain for politicians in DC is at an all-time high. Last time I looked, the disdain for Congress and the dissatisfaction was at somewhere, or the disdain for Congress and the satisfaction for Congress was somewhere around 14% of the country approved of Congress. However, when polled, somewhere around 80% of the country approved of their own congressman, which tells me that there's a disconnect. And that is either you aptly believe that your congressman is correct when blaming everyone else in Congress for the ills that you suffer, or you're not paying attention to what your congressman is actually doing. That's the only thing. Your congressman is either absolutely infallible, or you're not paying attention. So that comes back on us. So I aim to be 100% transparent and provide a different method, a different type of candidate. And my plan is to go and serve my time and come home. I don't plan on being a career politician. Not only do I not plan on it, I would dedicate as a House of Representatives member. I will only allow myself to be reelected so many times. And I don't plan on running for reelection unless my constituency tells me that they would like me to. For the simple fact that I don't believe we should have career politicians. So I am imposing restrictions on myself if I am duly elected to serve the great state of New Hampshire, represent them in Congress. And I do mean serve. I think for too long we've sent people to Washington that are politicians and not representatives. And to me, that's a failure. And I'll define a representative as someone I believe goes to Washington to serve their community, serve their constituency, and throw themselves into the fray and sacrifice for them. Very much like serving in the military or on the police force, or as a firefighter or a nurse or a paramedic. It's supposed to be a selfless act. Unfortunately, it's not what we have continuously sent to DC. What I view as a politician is exactly what we have. People who go to Washington, they act in their own self-interest at all times and think of the citizenry only when it comes to re-election. I can promise you with me that's not the case. I'm completely consistent in my disdain for career politicians, and I would not be able to look at myself in the mirror if I were to become one. One of the solutions I want to get to is protecting the Second Amendment, as I do believe that there is a wave of anti-Second Amendment legislation that is going to be flooding towards our way. Fixing the economic opportunity. I like the Trump tax cuts, but I think it didn't go far enough. I'm a big proponent of flat tax, and I mean a very low flat tax. I'll be releasing a tax plan as well. I do have one. I've been working on it for a while. I also will be releasing a plan for a new voting system. Again, something I've been working on. I've posted it a few different places. So far, I've gotten agreement on it. I do believe that we need to pull back from these wars. We need to continue to end the foreign wars of attrition. There's no reason that we, 20 years later, should be sending our young men and women to go fight in another country. We have accomplished nothing so far. We can step back. We can continue the peace deals with Israel and with Saudi Arabia, and hopefully get some more Middle Eastern countries in this and create real lasting peace in the Middle East. I do believe China is still the #1 threat I believe we need to focus to our nation. And while they might not be in a boots on the ground conflict, they are very much waging economic warfare against the United States and operating in a propaganda campaign against us. In 2019, they declared people's war on the United States, and we have not taken that seriously. Donald Trump has, but many of our officials in government have not. Many of them are getting paid to sit and do absolutely nothing. Many of them have investments in China and are being lobbied by Chinese firms. So we do need to secure our elections. It is absolutely unacceptable what has transpired this year and in 2016 and in 2000. And the problems never got fixed. They got pushed down the road as soon as people stopped paying attention. The headline, the news changed. And indeed, you can see it happening right now. I believe credit needs to be given where it's due. And that doesn't matter which party happens to be doing it. It doesn't matter what politician happens to be doing it. When credit needs to be given to the people that deserve it. As we get to the other side of this pandemic, and we get to the other side of these vaccines that are being pushed out pretty fast, we need to repair the confidence that we have in our government. And the only way I see that happening is to start electing people who are part of the citizenry they hope to represent, and not a part of that upper 1% of society that don't consider themselves to be among us. They consider themselves to be the governors and not the governed. We cannot send people to Washington that do not consider themselves to be amongst the governed and expect them to do right by the people that they intend to govern and lord over. Again, my name is Julian Aciard, Derry, New Hampshire. I'll be running in New Hampshire's 1st Congressional District. I'm pro-Second Amendment. I'm pro-America. America first. We need to bring back manufacturing in this country, and I have a plan to do it. We need to provide good jobs for our citizens, not by creating government jobs that are temporary and indenture populace to the government, but by creating opportunities for new firms to get out there and create sustainable jobs, providing a living wage for our individuals here at home. And by living wage, I do not mean forced by government. I mean by creating an environment in which people can start to get bonuses and raises again, and we can repair this economy. It's going to be a long 2 years as we get ready for what is very likely to be a Biden-Harris presidency. We have a lot of repairing to do. We are fractured right now. We have people moving in to take advantage of the situation, and we are very much in need of healing in this country. We're going to have to make a large breath appeal to many different groups that we normally wouldn't, and we're going to have to make a large appeal to independent voters, which is something that, to my recollection over my years, I've seen one Republican president that has actually done that, and that is our current one. So that's enough. It's going to be a short video for tonight. Look me up on Twitter at ACR2022. That's at ACCIARD 2022. Have a good night. God bless. I'll see you again here soon.
And what kind of player am I? Am I an offensive man or a defensive man? That's right, I'm neither. I play my opponent. If he likes to attack, I force him to defend himself. He's a cautious man, I draw him into dangerous water. See, you get so frustrated playing defensive positions, you make stupid moves you never make if you were thinking. When you come here, boy, check that shit at the door,
I'm at the top of my game, cut the check. Somebody better king me, I'm the best. Let's play a game of checkers. Better yet, the game don't love nobody. Let's play chess.